Hey YouTube, I just want to do a quick video on the installation of our Royal 6300 model wood boilers. At the time of the recording, it is October of 2025. We installed them in October, November of 2023, so we're a couple years behind. Life's happened. My wife and I had twin daughters in February of 2024, and then also with work, just been busy and haven't gotten this posted. But we purchased these back in the summer of 2023, pending our purchase of higher acres. We bought two of them, ordered two of them at the time. My parents installed, after 25 years of service, their Royal wood boiler from the mid 1990s. Had seen its better days, and so they replaced it with another Royal wood boiler, a 6200 model. Given the size of their house and the in-floor heat, that was fairly undersized, so they ended up buying a 6300 model. The old 6200 model, I say old, but it's only a couple years old, went over to my brother Lance and his wife Michaela's place to heat their home. So it worked out well. The wood boiler is still in use. There's nothing wrong with the 6200 model. It just got moved over to my brother Lance's place, and they put in the upsized 6300 model at the home farm. I'll talk about this later in the video, but we also went with a 6300 model. Our house probably doesn't require that size of a unit, but we decided to go with that in the event that we ever add on. But we've always had great experience with Royal wood stoves. My in-laws also have a Royal wood boiler, a 6200 model that they put in about 12 to 13 years ago. And it's worked flawlessly for them. So we've all had great experiences with Royal wood stoves. So that's the brand that we continue to go with. So moving on to Royal products themselves, originally they were based out of Elroy, Wisconsin, here my hometown. That was their original home location. They were bought out by Arc Alloy out of Reedsburg, Wisconsin, so just down the road. They also acquired the Aquatherm and Energy King brands, but they are now in Reedsburg, Wisconsin. Like I had mentioned before, they make all sorts of different products. Ours is a commercial closed system, the 6300 model outdoor wood boiler. Like I had mentioned before, we went with the upsized 300,000 BTU. We have a drafty farmhouse at this point. Eventually the plan would be to renovate and add on, so we don't want to have to come back and replace our boiler if we do add on to the house or put in-floor heat in. So we went with the upsized wood boiler, trying to look forward to that point in time. The other advantage of having an upsized unit such as the 6300 model is I'm away at work all day. I work up in La Crosse, which is over an hour away. So we wanted to have something that could hold wood throughout the day while I was gone. There's just a view coring through the foundation wall and some photos from installation of the Thermoplex line, the underground line that goes to the wood boiler. We went with the Thermoplex piping. There's debate out there whether or not it's worth it for the cost. I believe it is. Everybody's got their own opinions. I do believe it was worth the money. The photo you can see here, I'm just working on the trench. We did encase some of the Thermoplex line underneath the driveway because there's heavy farm machinery that uses for access to the fields. We put a Schedule 80 PVC pipe over to jacket the line to prevent it from being crushed. I don't know, it might not have been necessary, but we felt that it was just a little added layer of protection with some of the heavier machinery that goes over. That's Lester Kibler there in the flannel. He's a Central and Classic Edge dealer here in central Wisconsin, between Elroy and New Lisbon. He's been doing it for many years. We didn't purchase the boiler from him. He's not a Royal dealer. However, we did buy the Thermoplex line from him. We just got done pouring the pads for the wood boiler that we're going to be installing here. Ran the line up to the house, down through here, Thermax line, Thermax pipe. So we made it a little bit bigger. You can see where the pipe stubbed up, so this will be facing the door of the wood boiler. And we did it this way. We made it a little bit bigger so we can stack wood here as kind of a surplus. That way if Allison is, if I'm away and she needs to feed the wood stove, we can, she can do that without having to go all the way over there to get the wood from it or for it. So we just made it a little bit bigger, or we could even park a trailer here that's got wood on it and park it on top. It's a 6-inch thick pad. Wouldn't have probably had to have gone that thick, but we just wanted that added strength. And then I also thickened it up to 10 inches right below where the wood boiler is going to sit in the footprint of the wood boiler. So part of the other reason for going a little bit thicker and then adding gravel, solid gravel base underneath, is because there used to be pine trees here and there's a lot of organic matter. So I dug that out with the skid loader the other night down to something a little bit more solid, and then built it back up with gravel. But we installed the lines here last week. I did 2 knockouts just in case we ever want to hook up, if we ever add on, you know, or put a shop on, or a detached garage with in-floor heat, to have another hookup here. To be honest though, I'm thinking we probably just daisy chain off the house and run it to that shop or garage, depending on what we do. But we ended up going with the Thermax pipe. I know there's debate on whether or not it's worth it, but my in-laws put one in here about 10 years ago, and they just got the corrugated pipe with blanketed PEX lines, and basically they had green grass going right up to the house there that year and the year after. So they dug that back up and put this Thermoplex in right in the same spot, and haven't had an issue since. So who knows, maybe it was more expensive than it should have been or needed to be, but to me it was worth a little bit extra money. So but yeah, so we'll show more as we look to install the boiler. We're going to start putting the equipment in the house here either this weekend or next weekend. It's starting to cool down, so I'm looking forward to getting some wood heat here, that's for sure. We grew up with it, and we just bought this place here back in June, July, and I've always wanted a house with wood heat. The house we rented for the last 5 years until we had the opportunity to buy this place was heated off of LP, and I hated every single minute of it. I'm aware it's a lifestyle choice, burning wood. You always got to have someone tending to it, keeping it stoked, or you got to enjoy the work of cutting and splitting wood, which I do. Our whole family loves doing that, and we have a lot of farmland here and a lot of fields with trees that are tipped into the fields that we cut up, and we got tons of wooded acreage to supply us for years and years down the road. This is one of 2 pads that we put in today. So we did one over to my brother Lance's place. He's up the road here 3-4 miles. So we're actually we bought 2 Royall wood stoves, not to be confused with Crown Royal wood stoves, but Royall wood stoves out of Reedsburg, Wisconsin here, about 25 minutes down the road from our place. I just need to make a little bit of a clarification there. I kept calling this Thermax pipe, and I work in commercial construction, and Thermax is a continuous insulation attachment sheathing that has air barrier on it. This is called Thermoplex pipe, not Thermax. So just wanted to point that out, that I was calling it by the wrong name before. So just making that clarification. Thanks. All right, so it's the next day here, and got concrete blankets that we pulled over last night. Pulled those off, didn't get below freezing, but pulled the concrete blankets off, and just working on putting a acrylic-based cure and seal sealer on it. Don't know if it was totally necessary, but just a little bit of added protection for the pad. This is just stuff you get at Home Depot here. Probably not the highest grade stuff. You know, ideally probably would have used like a TK sealer, but anyway, for what it is, I think this will do just fine. Give them just a little bit of added protection. Again, that's the Cure and Seal. So it's a 2-in-1 sealer and curing compound. But yeah, just looking to get a little added protection. This is the 3rd pass with the roller. Ideally, I probably would have used a sprayer, but had rollers available, so I just rolled it on. So we're gonna do this one, then we're gonna head over to Lance's place, my brother's place, and do the pad over there. So. It's an exciting day. We got the wood boiler pulling in the yard here. So, some excitement. We're gonna set it here today, and then the next week or two, we're gonna have all the hookups done by Miller Heating and Air here in town. So. All right, so the wood stove is set. We set it yesterday. It's the day after here. We are pretty excited. This is it's nice. We got it squared up. Loader tractor had about all it wanted to do there. It was these things are heavy units, and a lot of heavy thick steel that goes into these, especially with it being a pressurized system. But yeah, no, it's a sharp looking unit. Paint looks great on it. Just give you a peek inside here. It's a pretty simple system, really. There's not a whole lot to them. You got an aquastat up here that will kick in this fan motor down here, the blower fan. But overall, pretty simple. Not a whole lot to go wrong with them, really. Just give you a shot inside the firebox here. You got thick, heavy gauge steel up here. Got your refractory brick down the bottom with your shaker grates. Shake the ash out of it. So it's got this little door down here with your ash pan. Sorry for how loud that was. So yeah, it's a pretty simple unit. It's worked for over 40 years, and we're excited to get it hooked up to the house. And, excited to get wood heat here. So I'm probably also gonna wire in a light pole either on this end or that end of the slab for light. So, which we got the wire for the blower fan running out here, so we can do that. I'll give you a shot around the back side here. We gotta get the chimney yet. That's something that we gotta get, but Just give you a shot inside here. So we strip down the thermoplex pipe here, and we'll insulate this once it's all hooked up. But just to give you a shot back here, there's our wire, our J-box or junction box. So it does have a blow-by valve. It's a pressurized system, but it does have a blow-by valve that comes down here. It'll go out the bottom. Again, I did put in that extra knockout under there just in case we ever add on or make that into a shop. Got the puppy dog. Sitting there guarding the place. So anyway, just wanted to give a brief shot of the unit here before it's hooked up. All right, so it's the first night with the wood boiler hooked up here. Got a little bit of a mess to clean up here yet. Got some wood stacked up here. I don't have the chimney cap on yet. I got to get that on. So that's not on yet. That's in the works. Put it on, but I see here the inducer fan just kicked off, but just to give you a little rundown here. So we got our hydrostat up here in that. Let's see if I can get it to focus here. So that is set, if you can see it, set to about 175 roughly. 175 degrees. So once that gets down to, I believe it's 15 degrees below 175, at 160, that inducer fan kicks on, and there's a little actuation gate in there that trips, and it kicks that fan on to bring the water temp back up to what it's supposed to be. So you can see we're at about 175 exactly. The inducer fan kicked off just as it's supposed to. So we'll just open it up here. Now we got a lot of smoke. So yeah, kind of see we got nice fire going. Some wood I just dropped in here a little bit ago. Nice big firebox. A firebox like 43 inches long. So fit some good sized wood in here. Probably don't have to split it or cut it so short next time, but lessons you learn. So, but yeah, that's inside the firebox here. So it's gonna give you an idea a little bit. So boy, is it nice. In the house we got good, even, consistent heat. Got the thermostat set to about 72 degrees, and it just maintains it flawlessly, absolutely flawlessly. So got our ashtray door down here. See some of the ashes we got going so far. So just right back in there. So yeah, overall really happy so far. Exciting day. Been waiting for this day for a long time. So now we're down here in the basement. Excuse the mess, got some scraps here yet from the install, but here's where the thermoplex pipe comes into the basement, and so just threw that on there. It doesn't really need to be on there, but anyway, you got your supply here and then the return down here. So the supply is designated with this black line. So it's our supply line. It runs up here, up overhead to your pump, inline pump there. So I just show you, kind of a snapshot. It's quiet, really quiet. Does not hardly make a sound. That just circulates the hot water. So that comes up over, and so it comes down to the bottom, the hot water does, and this is the side arm here. So it comes down to the side of the side arm. Sorry, trying to give you a better view here. Comes down into the side arm, and basically what this is just a water column. There's a pipe with the hot water for the wood boiler, from the wood boiler, that goes up this jacket, and surrounding it is water that circulates into the hot water heater. And then that water from the wood boiler. The wood boiler line comes up here, makes its way up, and then comes through the expansion tank here, gets your pressure. So one thing that I failed to cover in the video itself was the closed system aspect of our setup. I've alluded in videos to it being a closed system, but what does that actually mean? Well, on most boilers, you have a non-pressurized system. So you have to monitor your water levels and add water if the level is low. One of the things that we love with these Royall wood boiler setups is that it's a pressurized system, meaning that it has an autofill valve. You never have to monitor the level because it's always full. So there's two arrows here. The one on the left-hand side of the screen, the arrow pointing kind of down on the left side, is pointing to a backflow preventer, and that's just making sure that water can pass through into the system, but it can't come back into the domestic water system. If the system becomes over pressurized, it can't backfeed into our domestic water supply. So that's just teed off of some supply line. I don't know if it's the bathroom sink or what it is, but it's just teed off of there and then runs through the backflow preventer and then into the system. The arrow on the right hand side is pointing to the autofill valve. So essentially, if the system calls for water, it will release water into the system, and there's a little nipple on top that purges air. So if there's an air bubble in the system or air in the system, it will purge the air out so that you have a complete full pressurized system full of water and not air. So that's one of the things that we love, is that we don't have to worry about the water level. It's just always full through this autofill system. And then we run a pressure of about 15 to 25 psi. When you get the water temp up to a full 180 degrees, once it fires, that pressure rises a little bit, but then it usually settles back down to right around 20 psi. We have a valve over in the heat exchanger that, the first time you fire it up, if it gets some pressure in the system, it goes from being completely cold to 180 degrees. Sometimes that pressure will creep up, so you just crack that valve, release some water from the system to get the pressure down, and then that autofill valve fills the system right back up, but it kind of equalizes that pressure. So just wanted to clarify that, because it wasn't an item that I think I've been overly clear on in past videos. So I do want to cover this, because this water coming from the wood boiler is at roughly 180 degrees. It loses some, I'm sure, outside, a few degrees worth of temperature. And so this will make this water 170 degrees. So to counteract that, when it leaves the hot water tank, there is a mixing valve of cold water. And you can make adjustments. Sorry, it's kind of hard to see here, but there's numbers essentially on this, and each number represents some degree of Fahrenheit. It's in the owner's manual. What I have it set to right now is at about 130 degrees Fahrenheit, is what it's set to currently, at about 4.5. There's a notch there that you can't see, the indicator notch. So that just mixes cold water in to bring it to a temp that's not gonna scald your skin. So it's a safety device, essentially. So, but from there, the hot water comes down these PEX lines. They routed them down here. Again, this is an old farmhouse, old stone foundation. But you have them run right under this duct line, return duct. So they just route right down there. We come into the other room. Come into right down here to the heat coil in our forced air plenum. And so essentially this is your hot water supply. It comes into your heat coil on top and radiates down. Comes down to the bottom side, and this is your return back out. It's being forced through. On the return side, there is a valve here that just shows your water temp. So right now we're at about just under 170. Now as a safety feature, another safety mechanism to prevent the system from overheating, essentially. This has what's called the dump zone protector on it, which is basically just a T-stat that is set up to, right now we're set at about 185. And so if you remember, our T-stat out in the wood boiler is set at 175. So essentially, if the water gets over 185 here on this T-stat, it will kick in the fan inside the furnace to basically take heat off the system. So it's going to heat your house. I mean, beyond what your thermostat even reads, it'll kick the fan on automatically as a safety feature. It's just a redundant system to make sure that you're not overheating your lines, So that's really about it. It's a pretty simple system, really. I mean, there's a lot of parts and pieces to it, but overall, really fairly simple. And a cool system at that. I mean, even tonight, we can totally tell the difference between gas, LP heat, and the wood heat. The house is just a consistent temperature, and this fan is not kicking on and off near as much as it would with the LP heat. So just not nearly amount of cycles that we were experiencing before. So that, combined with the fact that our domestic hot water is heated off of this wood boiler as well. So it's a good deal. Big day for us, and we're really excited to have this system in our home and to be heating our home in the cold Wisconsin winters with wood heat. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm going to have to give an update once I get a little more used to the system and kind of how it works. But give an update as to the wood consumption, how many times a day I got to fill it. Obviously, there's a lot of variables to that, but we'll look forward to giving you guys an update as we learn with this system. So thanks.